Welcome to the Garden Wise Show with Colorado's most knowledgeable and entertaining garden experts with host Keith Funk, the Garden Wise Guy. Get ready for gardening tips that you can use right now. New plants, hot products, and the latest from horticultural science. The phone lines are open, so call into the Legend Studio now. 303-477-2473. That's 303-477-2473. Or text your questions and photos to 303-477-5600. That's 303-477-5600. On the air since 1994, Keith and his guests have been answering your questions about gardening in the high-altitude desert of the Colorado Front Range. And now, here's your host, Keith Funk, the Garden Wise Guy.
All righty. Good morning, everybody. This is the Garden Wise Show that you're listening to as every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 o'clock here on Legends 810. My name is Keith Funk. I'm your host today until 9 o'clock, along with my sidekick here, Devon Hukill.
Good morning. Good morning.
We are happy to answer your phone calls and text messages about your garden, what's going on in your yard, positive or negative. I like hearing the positives, too.
Successes. Yeah, we love our successes.
Absolutely. Everybody learns from successes. Mm-hmm. So if you had a wonderful success this year, something that you tried that you've never done before, or that you've been doing for years and has always worked, and you've always been very happy with the results, let us know about it, because that educates everybody else that's listening.
Yep.
And yes,
it's a little rough year for success.
It is. It is a little bit of a rough year, but you know, everybody wants. That's the point of the show, is for you to be successful at what you're doing in your garden and landscape. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, we're going to be here till 9 o'clock today. This is a year-round show, by the way. We broadcast 7 to 9 o'clock every Saturday morning, even in the middle of winter.
Yeah, plenty of planty things to do in the wintertime.
You know, as long as it doesn't fall on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, we're typically here.
Yeah. I guess that wouldn't be. Oh my God, Lord. Apparently I need to wake up. I was like thinking of other holidays.
Yeah. But we're happy to take your phone calls and your text messages. We're also broadcasting live on Facebook Live, The Garden Wise Show on Facebook. You can look it up and watch the show if you'd like to. There is a comment section there during the on the Facebook page where you can type in your question.
Yep.
If you'd like to.
And we've got it open, and so we'll see them and we'll answer them.
That's exactly right. Now, like I said, you can text us at 303-477-5600. You can include a picture with your text. Now, keep in mind that you can only put one picture per text. For some reason, our system doesn't like multiple pictures in one text. Yeah. So if you do have multiple pictures, send them one at a time, and then we can see on the screen which pictures belong together.
Yeah.
And or you can text a picture and then call in at 303-477-2473, and we can discuss. We can have some coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
That's right. About the picture that you sent in. And you know how pictures are. They're worth 1,000 words. So
well, they certainly help.
They certainly help a lot. Oh, let's see. What all is going on? I did want to announce here that the Arapahoe County Master Gardeners are having a tour. It's a self-guided tour, and it's free. And this is... let's see, we're Cheyenne Park, the Plains Conservation Center, Lima Plaza Pollinator Garden, the Silo Garden, Clayton Community Garden. These are all demonstration gardens maintained by the Master Gardeners of Arapahoe County. The Pea Patch, Colorado Center for the Blind, the Hudson Gardens. All of these places are free to go see. This is going to be on Saturday, August 8th, which is, a week from today, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's August.
I'm actually designing a new garden for the Colorado Center for the Blind.
Are you really?
I'm designing a new sensory garden, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Well, this is something that runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and you can visit all of the gardens. Like I said, it's free. And if you want to sign up, what you do is to go to a place on the internet called or excuse me, Eventbrite.
Oh yeah.
The word event, and then bright is spelled Brite. It's all one word, Eventbrite, to get your free tickets and a tour guide map. So that's coming up this next Saturday. So I think it'll be very interesting to go see all the different demonstration gardens that they have going on, and all the different interesting tips and ideas and inspirations and so forth that go along with that. Because I know I always see something I've pretty much never seen when I go tour gardens,
Oh, for sure.
or a plant combination I've never seen, or maybe even a plant I've
Yeah.
never seen.
Yeah.
So it's worth going to those sorts of things. Now, oh, looky there, we have a caller on the line right now. Bob, good morning. Thank you for calling the Garden Wise Show.
Good morning.
What's going on with you today, Bob?
Okay, I got a elephant ear plant. It's I just picked it up this spring, and it's about 1.5 feet tall on the leaves, but the outside of the leaves are all turning brown, like they're dying off, and the water and fertilizer is in where it should be.
And where do you have this plant located?
It's mostly outside in the sun.
In the sun.
In the sun.
That's one of the problems. Elephant ears here prefer mostly shade. They'll take some morning sun just fine, but I would protect it from the hot afternoon sun.
Yeah. They'll leaf scorch a
Oh.
little bit.
They just lose water too fast through those leaves, and then the outside edges of the leaves start to brown.
Okay, that's what it's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Yep.
if you have plenty of water in the soil.
Yeah. You know, a lot of that's it's a general rule. A lot of things with big, huge leaves here in Colorado, they don't like to be in a lot of sunlight because of our elevation and our closeness to the sun
And
a
lack
lot
of humidity.
Lack of humidity. So a lot of things that in other climates can handle full sun. Elephant ears in other climates can handle a
In
little
Florida,
bit more
they
sun.
do
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But here, because of our elevation, our sun is just much more intense. They just tend to burn up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that. Thanks for your time.
Well,
Of
you
course,
bet. Thanks
Bob.
for your
Thank
call,
you.
Bob. Yeah, elephant ears are one of my favorite
Yeah, they
plants
really
for the
are.
patio. There's so many varieties out now. There's a green and white one that I want to get.
Ooh.
Frodeck or something like that,
Yeah.
I think is what it's called. And I have not seen it for sale, but it's
You know,
it's just beautiful.
I think I know I've given you some in the past.
Yeah.
So I got a couple funky varieties last year.
Uh-huh.
I got just the basic. I had the basic green. I have a lot of them. And then I have a purple, and I know I gave you a purple one.
Oh, and one called Illusion.
Yeah, illusion.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that illusion
Yeah.
is weirdly popping up in other plants of mine.
Oh, really?
And so I'm not sure how, but I overwintered, and it's still alive, a miniature tomato in my greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I overwintered it in the greenhouse, and it's still growing and still producing tomatoes right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. One popped up into one of those pots.
Huh.
And then I planted up some of Jim's musifolias,
Oh, the canna?
the canna musifolias. Just the green ones, not the purple one.
I lost the purple.
I know you lost the purple one. That's why I kind of gave you that, not the purple one. Look. But I planted up his green one, and obviously he didn't invent the plant, but we got it from Jim. And it's coming up into that pot. So I've got it coming up in like 3 or 4 random pots, and I don't know how.
Well, all of these elephant ears bloom.
Yeah, but I don't know if it bloomed. You would think I knew if it bloomed.
Well, sometimes I don't notice it until it's up and going. So
Is that a sign that I have too many plants?
well, it could be. It could be.
Yeah.
But benign neglect is usually the way to go with a lot of plants.
Yeah.
I was
my
watering yesterday evening, hand watering all the patio pots because I was going to be gone most of the day today, and I noticed that my lantana was badly wilted, but the pot was heavy. And something is really wrong
Yeah.
here. Well, the drainage hole was plugged.
Mm-hmm.
And I unplugged the drainage hole, and all this water came running out. And then this morning I look at it, and it looks just as happy as it can be.
Oh, yeah.
So
see?
I caught it in time.
Yeah, you can
Before the-
permanently kill something.
Well,
like
yeah, you
that.
can root rot something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those reasons I like to tell people before you water, check the soil moisture.
Mm-hmm.
And this index finger I'm holding up, or you could use this index finger, or you could use the little pinky finger. I don't care which you use, but use a finger and stick it into the ground down to your second knuckle
Yep.
and see what the moisture level is like before you water anything. And that includes all your new perennials, your new shrubs, your new trees. Watering on a regular schedule just doesn't work.
And it just changes throughout the season. You
It
know?
does, from week to week
Yeah.
even,
Yeah.
depending on the temperature and the sun and the rainfall and the wind and the cloud cover and all those different things can affect how fast. For example, in the nursery, I work at Nick's on the weekends, and there are plants that we have to water in pots, maybe 1 gallon pots or smaller, almost every day.
Yeah.
But not always every day, and they're sitting up in pots.
Yeah.
There are bigger pots in 5, 8, 10 gallon pots that get watered maybe every few days. Once you put them in the ground, that will be even less
Yeah.
because they're in the ground surrounded by moist soil.
Yeah.
So-
And there's people that go out and they'll water their garden lightly every single day.
Oh, that's bad.
And that's, so you want to make sure that, you're making those plants, whether in the ground, hunt for the water, and so water deeply, not just frequently and shallowly.
Because that encourages a surface-rooted, shallow-rooted plant.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watering shallowly every day or every other day or whatever, and you're watering for 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and so all your roots are going to be in the top few inches.
Yeah.
And then if you go on vacation or miss a day
Yeah.
or what have
They
you, or
can
get sick,
collapse easily.
you have a problem with that plant.
And then also that accounts for containers too.
Absolutely.
So when you water a container, you want to water that, whether it's a house plant or pot of flowers on your patio,
A hanging basket.
hanging basket. When you want to water really thoroughly,
Uh-huh.
and then let it dry down.
Yes.
Kind of in between, not out, don't let it dry out, but let it dry down.
Well, and the reason you don't want it to let it dry out is because most potting soils will shrink if they get too dry. And then
Yeah.
you get this gap between the pot and the ball of soil. And the next time you water, the water runs down that gap and out the bottom, and you think you've done a good job of watering where you have not.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite ways of checking to see if something needs to be watered, if you if you don't want to stick your highly manicured finger into the soil,
Like mine.
yeah, you can tip the pot and see how much it weighs.
Yeah. Hanging baskets. I
Lift
have a
'em.
lift.
Yeah.
I have a lift motion. I
Yeah.
just lift it, and,
And when they start to feel, if it's easy to tip, it's probably ready for some
Yeah.
water. If it's easy to lift, it's time to water.
yeah. And I find too, like you had mentioned, that your bottom of the hole got clogged.
It got clogged.
That's really common this time of year, especially if your pot is sitting on soil. Because I find earthworms move in and out of that
The
hole on the
yeah.
drainage hole.
Yeah.
And so they'll come from the soil up into your pot and back down and vice versa. And so they kind of will they'll plug it up with like heavier clay that we have.
Oh, well, mine was just sitting on cement, and it's still plugged
Oh,
up.
it's still plugged up on
Yeah,
cement. Yeah, that's
yeah.
a little less likely. But
Which, next year I'm going to make sure that those holes are bigger.
yeah. Yeah. So that also is another problem if your holes in your pots are too small. And a good way to remedy that is to unplug it. But you just take something like I always use a bamboo stick.
Me too.
Stake.
Yeah.
And if the pot is, so what I normally do is I tip the pot on its side and go from the underside
Right.
into the pot. So
And then
you
wiggle it around.
And you wiggle around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes containers are too big to do that.
Yes.
And so if you can, because you have to tip it over quite a bit to be able to get a bamboo skewer stick up it.
Yeah.
That sounded really bad. I didn't mean to make it that way, guys. But if it's too big, I will go from the top down.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to be able to tip it a little bit to know where your holes are at. But you can go from the top down.
And poke
if you
around
need
a
to,
bit.
And poke around a bit until you find the drainage hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times we're a crock in the bottom, not gravel,
Yeah.
but a broken piece of terracotta pot. Just and it's got to be curved, not a flat piece. You want to have a curved piece that you could put over the hole that creates an airspace
Yeah.
before you put the soil in, and that will help with preventing that drainage hole from plugging up.
Yep.
One of the things I did this year too in my pots, because of the lack of moisture, and we're supposed to conserve water, 20%, that sort of thing. I'm trying to be as responsible as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I planted fewer plants per pot.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think I did not.
You think you did not, or you did not?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I now know that that's what I should have done.
Well, there's nothing wrong with editing this time of year.
Yeah, some of mine need some editing.
And if you do edit by removing plants from a pot that are just getting too crowded, cut the plant off at the soil surface.
Yeah.
Don't try to pull it out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to disturb the root, because that's going to be intertwined with all the other plant roots.
Good
So,
point.
and it's going to disturb those plant roots. So I always just cut it off at the soil surface or just below,
Yep.
if I have to.
Yeah.
And I've done that before.
Yeah.
So,
My containers are still looking really good though.
oh my gosh, so are mine. I'm really pleased with them.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky. All of my stuff is on the north side, so
Sure.
only half of them get any direct sun.
Yeah.
Most everything else is in the shade, so that helps keep them from drying out too
I
fast.
only have 2 that are in the intense sunlight.
Yeah.
So again, like it's
Which is another way to reduce your water usage is by putting your containers in a shadier spot during the years like this,
yeah.
rather than having a lot of full sun containers.
Yeah.
So-
Soil moist in the containers
I use
also
that,
is
yes.
is another great way to do that. And I found that you told me that they were made from a biodegradable polymer.
Yes, that has
Yeah.
been changed over the years so that it's not a carcinogenic thing.
Yeah, which
Used
is
to be.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Well, I'd questioned it, and then you informed me of its change, and so it's now a good product to use, which is great.
Which is it's a polymer granule that you would put in a bucket, add some water, watch it swell up, and it turns into kind of a gel, like Jello.
Yeah.
Little
cubey
cubes
things.
of Jello.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
cool.
And then you mix it with the soil.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake of putting the granules in the potting soil first, and it doesn't look like you're putting very many in, but it turned out I put way too many in. And I watered the pot after I planted it, and I came back out a while later. Well, those granules swelled up, and all my plants were laying out on the ground because the soil swelled up and pushed everything up out of the pot.
Like a volcano of
Yes.
plants and soil moist.
It was okay. Well, I learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
But well, let's get our first break out of the way. We're going to come back and talk to Danetta and Kathy on the phone. In the meantime, you can also text us here at 303-477-5600. You're listening to the Garden Wise Show. Let's move this way. I am the Garden Wise guy. You can see it on my shirt right there. And this is Devon over here.
Hello.
We're
I do
waiting
not
to
have a
talk to
Garden
you
Wise
guys.
T-shirt
You
on.
don't
I
have
feel
a
like I
garden-
should now.
I should get you one.
Yeah, we should
All
get
right,
one.
all right. Well, you listen to the Garden Wise Show on Legends 810. All right, we are back to the Garden Wise Show, and we're going to go straight out to the phones. Kathy is first up. Good morning, Kathy. What's going on with you today? Hello, Kathy.
Oh, yes.
Hi.
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 Good morning.
Keith and Devon. Good morning. I thought you were talking to Donata first.
Oh, no.
So
It's you.
no,
No, it's you. It's you. You're next.
I'm Kathy.
Yes, you're
I
Kathy.
yes, I am. I did text a picture of a blue star Amsonia. I don't know if you got it or not.
Yes,
We did.
Oh, isn't
Oh,
that
yeah.
beautiful?
That's
I
pretty.
love that plant.
It's
I love
got-
it.
I do too. And then I was going to ask you guys, because you guys are the propagation king and queen. I mean, like every spring, I just love listening to you talk about propagation. And I don't have the
favorite.
space for that or anything. But and then I was going to ask you how I could propagate this plant. And I thought, well, maybe I can't.
Yes,
And
you
what-
You
can.
can.
Oh, okay. So I've got 3. I've got this Amsonia is like a delight. Isn't it
It is
beautiful?
such a cool plant.
And let me
I just
describe it
like-
for our listeners. We're
Okay.
looking at a picture of a plant, a beautiful green plant, kind of a round, moundy shrub-looking plant,
Yeah.
covered in these blue star flowers,
Oh,
and it's
God.
called blue star Amsonia.
I love it.
And it's just a
It's one of my
fabulous.
favorite
and
perennials.
there's several varieties out there that grow to
I've
different
got
heights.
2.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like the taller one. You know,
Uh-huh.
this one is my favorite.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And when it blooms in the spring, there's these Siberian iris,
Mm-hmm.
Concord crush,
Okay.
that are double blue Siberian iris
Okay.
that grow right behind it. It's just absolutely beautiful. And so, and then I've got 2 other plants, but I don't want to take up your time. But I don't know. I don't even know if I can propagate that.
Well, I don't know
I
if
mean-
you've probably already noticed that it's starting to creep out.
It is.
Yes.
It really did. And I think it's about 4 years old now.
And that's one of the things about that shorter variety. Is that Tabernet
Yeah.
Montana? I think it is.
I think that's
Okay.
It does have a tendency to creep underground and form kind of a colony. So in the
Yeah.
spring, when you first
Yeah.
start to see the new foliage coming up, when it's an inch or
Okay.
2 tall, you can dig up a chunk. You can dig up the whole thing and divide it down. You could probably get 8 or 10 plants out of that thing.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Don't be
Sure.
scared.
Well, then go the
You know,
less
right-
aggressive
right-
route
what-
by just
I'm
taking.
sorry, what?
Then go if you're scared, just go the less aggressive
Yeah.
route versus digging the
What's
whole
that?
clump up. Just take clumps
No.
and
A
chunks
chunk,
off
yeah.
the outside edges
Oh.
of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right beside them is this beautiful blue Texas sage that blooms in the fall.
Okay.
I just, you know, when I planted this stuff, oh gosh, I've been planting out there since '85. Okay, so this plant, this Texas blue sage, only blooms in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you try to have something. So it's right. Oh, what am I going to do? I've got this massive mess, but they're absolutely beautiful. I just love blue, and can I ask you about another plant? So in the spring, you said I could just chunk it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can take chunks from around the perimeter and leave the main
Okay.
center of the plant in place.
Okay.
And what you'd want to do is try to dig down a good 6 or 8 inches deep when
Really?
you're taking your chunk out, and
Okay.
and then move it over to its new planting space as quickly as you can. And don't
6 or
be
8
too worried about if a few of the branches around the perimeter of the chunk die, because sometimes where you've stuck your shovel in, you've cut the rhizome at just the wrong place, and so some
Okay.
of the little branches around the perimeter might not be viable, but the main plant that you move will be good.
Okay. Oh, and then stuck behind it is this big pink aster. Boy, did I make a mess. So then there's this other plant. Can I ask you about one more plant?
Go right ahead.
Salvia caraduna.
Oh yeah,
Caraduna?
Caradonna, my
Yeah,
favorite salvia.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah.
God, isn't it? Isn't it absolutely beautiful?
Yes.
Those black stems, and so
That's a great one.
what's that?
It's a great one.
Oh, wait, it is. So, some my other salvias, and I have to tell you, just because I want to talk to you, that I do love veronicas. I have probably 10 varieties of veronicas in my garden.
Uh-huh.
But this salvia caradona, is that how you say it?
I pronounce it caradonna. You pronounce it however
Okay.
you want.
Yep.
Okay, whatever you want. It's so beautiful, and it's like it's close to that one, and it never reseeds. How come some of my plants reseed?
Some of them are sterile, so they won't
know.
reseed, and so and that's just part of the genetics of the plant. So you probably won't find caradonna reseeding, or it might be a
Okay.
situation, Devin. What do you think, that the seed just isn't hardy enough to get through our winter?
Yep, that also could be.
No, it does, because the birds all eat it. They eat it all winter long.
Right, but I
If
mean
Yeah,
the
but
seed itself may be killed
It's
by the
sterile.
cold weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still
Okay.
may be edible, but it might not be viable.
Yeah, I'd have to look up that specific one.
Well,
but
I'm thinking
Yeah.
caradonna is sterile.
yeah, but that information's
Caradonna.
out there, because then if the seed's sterile, they can't propagate it via seed.
They have to do it by
I mean,
cuttings.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have to do it by cuttings.
Okay. Do I have time to ask you one more?
Okay, one more quick one.
Okay. Limonium. I have a limonium, a
Uh-huh.
sea lavender.
I love that plant too.
Love that plant. You had some fun plants. in
You
your
do
yard.
like blue, don't you?
I do. I do. You should see my garden. It has, it's tiny. It's not like yours. I've seen yours. And I just have this, Turkish veronica.
Uh-huh.
It's a ground cover.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God, it's just beautiful in the spring. I
Yeah.
should send you a picture sometime. But yours is so daunting, I can't. But so this limonium, I must have got it at like the Englewood Nursery when it was there, like what, 25.
Yeah, that is a long time
that's a while
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that a beautiful place?
it was.
I'm-
Over there by
oh,
Swedish
God.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to volunteer down at Craig. But so this limonium is, I got one baby off of it.
Uh-huh.
That was growing in my neighbor's yard, and I stole it. I did. I dug it up and I stole it, and so now I've got two of them.
Yeah.
And I just ordered a new one from Bluestone for the fall. I just love limoniums. I think everybody should plant limonium.
Well, the Limonium latifolium, which is, like you said, the sea lavender.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a status.
Yeah.
I would consider it a status.
What do you mean? What's a status?
A plant called status. It's a type of status, and because you can cut those stems, and it's almost like baby's breath, but blue.
I know.
And you can use it as a filler in arrangements, but it lasts forever. It's one of those things you can dry and use it in dry arrangements
And
as
it
well.
holds its color well.
Yeah.
Oh, but before it dries, the bees love it.
Yes.
They do.
Uh-huh.
Bees are just crawling all over it.
And the foliage is beautiful too.
Yeah,
Isn't it
it's
beautiful?
unique.
Mm-hmm.
Such a unique plant.
Okay.
I just love it.
Well, thank
It
you,
was so
Kathy.
much fun talking to you guys.
Oh,
Thank
you
you,
too, Kathy.
Oh wait, one more thing. Can I propagate that limonium?
If you don't cut the flower heads off and leave them stand all winter long,
Okay.
any seed will shed, and you should start finding little volunteers here and there.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
it's not one of those plants that I would recommend digging up and dividing.
Yeah.
It really
No.
resents having its roots disturbed.
Yeah.
It really does. That's why I ordered a new one.
Yeah.
That's smart.
You guys are great. I love your show. I listen to every week.
Well, thank you,
Wonderful,
Kathy. I
Kathy.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And she talked about caradonna salvia, and one of the reasons I like caradonna over, especially May Night.
Oh, yeah.
May Night was a perennial the plant of the year one year, and after the first or second year, I wondered what were they thinking. But Caradonna is a nice summer blooming blue perennial salvia, and the stems are very vertical, and they're very stiff, and they don't flop open. And they have this dark, deep, purplish black stem color to them that really sets off the blue flowers.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It's so reliable.
And then if you deadhead it just below the spent flower stem, it sends up more flower spikes.
And see, the problem with Maine Night is the structure isn't sometimes very strong.
No.
And so I find that the ones that reseed themselves in my yard, their structure is stronger.
Really?
Yeah. But so they kind of flop open. So then when you try to deadhead them back, then you have this kind of ugly structured plant.
Yeah.
So I find with Maine Nights, you have to cut them back kind of harder. And
Maybe a Chelsea chop.
a Chelsea
the
chop,
spring.
yeah, might help. But then when you chop them back, they aren't as vigorous to come out of it.
Yeah.
So then you kind of have an ugly plant.
Well, so then you've got to go with one of those round grow grids.
Sure.
When the plant is small, put over the top so it grows up through the grid, and then it can't flop open.
Yeah.
But I stopped planting May Night. It's a pretty plant, but in most garden situations, I think it gets more water than it needs, and it grows weak and floppy.
Yep.
So
too.
there you are. What are you going to do? I guess our next thing we should do, though, as soon as Sean is ready, is we can go out and talk to Donetta. Good morning, Donetta.
Good morning.
Hey there. How are you this morning? Thank you for calling the Garden Wise Show.
Of course, happy National Sunflower Day.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, I like that.
It is. It comes up, the National whatever day. It comes up on my feed every morning. And this morning was Happy National Sunflower Day.
Well, that makes me
Well,
happy.
thank you.
I have the most beautiful sunflowers right now in a vase.
Yeah?
Spectacular. They're so pretty.
Nice. I don't grow sunflowers, but my favorite, although they don't do seeds, is the Maximilian sunflower.
Oh, yeah.
The Helianthus Maximiliani. I love that. That is one that belonged in last week's topic about hard-to-kill perennials.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a big one, too. But I guess there's some newer varieties out that are a little more dwarf.
A little shorter, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I've been pushing mine super, super dry this year, and so mine are not that tall.
Yeah?
Oh.
So what's your question today for us, Donetta?
Well, I actually don't have a question. I'm here. I'm a Colorado Master Gardener in Arapahoe County, and I am here to invite your listeners to the Gardens of Distinction tour.
Oh, we just talked
Saturday.
about that.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's
So I
wonderful.
I wanted to invite listeners. Again, it's next Saturday from 8 to 2, Saturday, August 8th. So listeners can register at Eventbrite. We do ask that they register because then they can get tickets, and then they can also download the map that gives them all the addresses of the gardens.
And it's free.
It is free. It is absolutely free. And we're going to have master gardeners at each of the 8 gardens. They're going to give tours of the gardens, of course, and then they can answer any gardening questions that you might have or, that listeners might have. So it's going to be a great day. There's free giveaways at each garden, and then at each garden they can also register to win the grand prize.
Oh.
So the more gardens they visit, the more chances to win the grand prize.
Which is?
So, well, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. Actually, no, we have a great gift certificate from Nick's Garden Center. Thank you. A shout out to Nick.
Wonderful.
We have some wonderful garden tools, lots of CSU Extension reference books for, just lots of things, exciting things, fun things for people who love to garden.
Well, that's
And the
great.
cool thing is, I didn't, I'm Hudson Gardens is on there, and I'm familiar with Hudson Gardens. And oddly enough, I'm doing a project at the Colorado Center for the Blind this fall,
Nice.
and so I'm familiar.
They're on the tour as well.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with your little garden space down there, and that's really cool. But there's all these other gardens I was unaware of, so that's a cool thing too. Is there's a lot of great public gardens that you could see for the first time and not know that they existed.
That's exactly right. And the good thing about this garden tour is each one of these gardens, and that's why we call it the Gardens of Distinction, is each one is very distinctive in its own right. And so each garden leader has selected kind of a topic that covers their garden that they're gonna focus on. So, and each one has its own challenges and its own problems, but the master gardeners are there to teach the visitors how you overcome those issues. So, yeah.
That sounds great. Well, I wish you all the best, and I hope you have a great turnout.
Well, thank you very much. I hope to see you there.
All righty.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, here we are back to the Garden Wise Show, and next up on the phone is Monta Lee. Good morning, Monta Lee.
Good morning, Keith and Devon.
Good morning.
I'm looking at a picture of a very pretty blue spruce tree.
It is.
That's called Old Blue Eyes.
Oh, that is Blue Eyes.
That is Blue
Okay,
Eyes.
I was
Okay.
wondering if it was Fat Albert. Blue Eyes and Fat Albert are similar, so.
I like the way you've left it branched all the way to the ground.
Me too.
Well, that's my question, which is that just recently occurred, and I'm wondering, is there a problem there? Do I leave it alone? What do you think?
What do you mean it just recently occurred?
The little bit of browning at the base. Is that what you're
No,
talking
not the brownie, but I'd never seen it. It's like dragging on the ground.
Well, it's the weight of the branches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fine. That's its natural growth habit. I know
Okay.
people who will limb them up or raise the skirt, as they say, so that there is room to plant other things if you
Sure.
want more planting space.
I don't.
But
But I like
love
that
the
it's
way it looks.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
that it's dropping to the ground.
Okay, it looks like it's getting ready to dust the grass.
I was going to
Okay.
say you can always pinch it lightly, back,
Okay.
so that it doesn't grow out onto the lawn.
Okay,
Or
I'll
you
keep that in mind.
move the lawn.
That's what we do. We just dig more grass out.
Yeah.
I have another question. Can I put grub gone down today?
Yeah, not a problem.
Not too early?
No, it's not too early at all. August and September are the two best months to get the grub gone down. The few grubs I've seen this year, the few beetles I've seen this year, I'm shocked how few I've seen.
Yeah, I think it's to do with our dry winter.
I hope so. They're going to be laying eggs soon, and then those eggs hatch out within a week or two and turn. They're going to be the little baby grubs, and those are the easiest ones to kill. So the grub gone is the one to use if you want to really be focused on just killing those sorts of grubs and not harming any other beneficial insects or anything like that, either above or below ground.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing it too early because today is August 1st. Happy birthday, Colorado.
Happy birthday, Colorado! And then
We
you
just found that out.
presented us with the Colorado state tree in your picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
it is? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Colorado blue spruce.
So that's a cultivar of the Colorado blue spruce.
Okay. Well, I have a what do they call it? A miniature Old Blue Eyes elsewhere in the lawn. So
Okay.
anyway, but my final question is, you had told me a while ago that to treat grasshoppers, to use Grasshopper Go. Is that still okay, or is there anything else you would suggest?
Well, Grasshopper Go is a repellent.
Yep.
It's not a killer.
Right.
So it's just basically a granule that's had cedar oil impregnated into it.
Okay.
And so you can scatter it with a spreader, through your perennials, through your lawn, through a lot of wherever you're having insect problems, especially grasshoppers, and it shoos them over into your neighbor's yard.
Okay. I'll work on that one. Well, thank you very much.
Well, you're
Thank
welcome.
you, Montalee.
Thanks for your call, Montalee.
Uh-huh.
Say hi to
Bye-bye.
Steve.
Thanks, I will.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, talking about lawns,
Yes.
I actually am a proponent of lawns. I think lawns provide a tremendous amount of benefit if it's the appropriate size
Yeah.
and it's being taken care of appropriately. I see lots of articles on Facebook and the internet and that sort of thing where they're a barren, toxic desert and nothing grows and it's a monoculture and it's bad, 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 and you're a horrible person to have one. And I really resent that.
First of all, I don't ever like shade gardening.
No.
I don't think that's ever the right way to get a message across, is shaming somebody for having lawn. Because,
Exactly.
As much as I love my perennials and my shrubs and bulbs and annuals and all of that, like, I have 2 dogs, and when my daughter was younger, I had a child. Like, like having a lawn sometimes is an essential thing.
Well, that is, and if you're talking about something that doesn't belong here, like a Kentucky bluegrass lawn, well, look around. Most of the trees we plant don't belong here.
Sure.
Most of the flowers we plant don't belong here, or the shrubs don't belong here. Your vegetable garden doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
So, why are you picking on a lawn?
Well, I mean, I think it's the habits and the cultural practices we've gotten into with lawns. By heavily fertilizing them, and also heavily use of herbicide chemicals on them.
And insecticides.
And insecticides, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And there's really very little need for that.
Yeah.
I have a lawn in my backyard. I ripped out all of my front yard because I wanted more planting space for my shrubs and perennials and that sort of thing.
Me too.
But I have about 800 square feet maybe of lawn in the backyard. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's
Between
what I have
6
in
and
mind.
800, yeah. And it's bluegrass.
Yeah, mine's too.
I like bluegrass, although it does like to crawl into the flower beds.
Sure.
But I feed it with an organic lawn food a few times a year. The Pro Rich, is what I use.
Yep.
And my dogs don't have any problem with that. I haven't used a weed killer on it for years.
Yeah.
If a weed does pop up, and it very seldom does because I keep the lawn healthy and thick by properly feeding and properly watering deeply and infrequently, twice a week has been just fine. And I'm shocked about that. I'm beginning to think that we may be, in general, overwatering our landscapes.
Yeah.
Because of this year's been a learning experience.
My flower beds, in particular, my shade flower beds, a lot of my yard's shade, but they have been so fine with they don't even look slightly stunted or anything.
No,
Now, my back garden that gets a little bit more sun, I've come to the conclusion it needs a longer run time.
Exactly.
But
and why does it need a longer run time?
just so that it can develop tougher roots, so that the water gets further into the soil profile, and then that in turn, if your water is going deeper into your soil profile, then the roots of your plants are growing.
They're
going
going
to
to
follow that, and that just makes them a sturdier, all around more durable plant.
And keep in mind that plants, I don't care if it's a lawn or a tree or a shrub or a perennial or a vegetable, their roots do not grow through dry soil.
It doesn't. Yeah, they don't
So-
grow through dry soil, looking for soil in a lower
That's
soil profile.
called, what is it when you assign human attributes to an inanimate object? Is
I don't know the word.
there's
for
a
it.
word for it.
Yeah.
It's a cool word. I wish I could remember.
Oh, and now
it.
I'm going to Google it. But yeah.
But the grassroots don't think, oh, you know what? or I can tell, 6 feet away, there's some water. I'm going to grow through 6 feet of dry soil because I think there might be some water over there.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that.
Yeah.
There has to be moisture for lawns to grow,
Yeah.
for roots of any kind to grow. So a long run time like Devon's talking about encourages deep water penetration, which means deeper root system, which means more drought tolerant and less frequency of watering.
Yep. More heat tolerant as well.
More heat tolerant
Because
as
if
well.
those roots are at the soil surfaces,
Oh.
it just, it's harder for them. But now the problem I've been running into this year is how to keep the grass that we have green, or longer term solutions, because I have a new theory of getting rid of non-essential grass. And your HOAs might require you to have a front lawn and whatever that may be. There's rules to follow. But things like boulevard strips or areas in the back of your garden that you might not use. I think there's something to be said to be removing some of your non-essential grass.
Exactly.
But, grass in general has a cooling effect as well.
Oh,
For
absolutely.
the environment. And so, I think a lot of people's solution is to get rid of their lawns, put landscape fabric down, and put rock over the top of it. And that can actually create more heat and a less air cooling effect.
And less water absorption and more water runoff.
Exactly. So that's the one nice thing about lawns is that does help cut down on things like water runoff. And it does have a cooling effect. So I think that some people are going to start looking for longer term solutions. So maybe they don't want to do bluegrass. Maybe they want to go with more of a native grass, something like blue grama or buffalo grass. My problem with those grasses is if you want a lawn, I don't think that they're the best lawn replacements because
They're not pretty.
they're not pretty, and they're a warm season grass, so it takes them so long to warm up they're green up in the springtime. They don't start
You
greening
get 3
up.
months of
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they green up at the beginning of June, and then by August they go dormant, so they turn brown by the end of August, and that's not the characteristics I'm looking for in a grass. I think at that point I'd much rather have a ground cover lawn.
yeah. Well, there's dogtuff
So
and and Tahoma,
Tahoma, dogtuff, those are both
Bermuda grass.
Bermuda grasses. Yep.
So they're not native.
Yep. And but those won't handle the shade very well.
Nope.
And then there was, kind of our last huge drought we had. The big push then was for turf type tall fescues,
Yeah.
which is a good lawn alternative because
Yes.
it does have more of a bluegrass type look to it. But I do find with Kentucky bluegrass, when it goes dry, it'll go dormant.
Correct.
It'll shut down. It'll go dormant.
It looks dead.
And it looks dead. But once you start watering it again, or once the weather starts to cool, or we get some more natural moisture, it'll green back up. Turf type tall fescues, that's a tongue twister, I find isn't as durable as coming. It'll go dormant too, but it sometimes has sometimes it'll more so die out, and it has a harder time repairing itself.
Same with perennial. Oh, come on. Ryegrass. Perennial ryegrass.
Sure.
Looks very much like bluegrass.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I like perennial ryegrass is that it doesn't crawl.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be creeping into your flower beds. But it looks identical,
Yeah.
really, to bluegrass and doesn't have the disease problems.
And the majority of grass seed comes with perennial ryegrass in it.
Yes. Now, the reason, the downside to perennial ryegrass and to the turf-type tall fescues is if you stop watering them, especially for a long period of time,
Yeah.
they die.
They do.
Whereas
they do.
Kentucky bluegrass comes back.
Yep. Now, perennial ryegrass and turf type tall fescues can handle some shade.
Yes, they can.
So that's a positive on that fact. But
Although
now,
my bluegrass handles a great deal of shade in my
bluegrass.
backyard.
Bluegrass is one of the, it handles quite a bit of shade. So now they're pushing a little bit more some of the shorter fescues, some of the more drought tolerant grasses and grass seed mixes that they're promoting are short fescues.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on short fescues?
I think they're going to have the same issues
Yeah.
with watering. You're going to have to keep it watered. And I'm not a big fan of clover.
Well,
as
and
a
that's
lawn.
okay. So that's another new trend right now.
Yeah.
Is people are overseeding their lawns with clover, like red clover they'll use, or white clover,
White Dutch clover is popular.
or a micro clover. So that's another option. One of my big problems with that is its flowers. So flowers are great.
Bees
clover,
love them.
Bees love it. It's not Dutch clover or red clover or the micro clover. It's not a native plant.
No.
So they sometimes will go hand in hand. Sometimes, anyways. And so the problem with it is the flowers. The bees love it, so that's great. The problem is the bees love it. And when you have a lawn with dogs and
or
kids
children.
and bees you step on them and they sting you.
Right. And if you've got a bee allergy,
Sure.
that's a problem too.
Yeah.
Or your dog getting stung in the face by some bees, you've got a vet bill.
Well, and my dogs like to dogs like to bite after them. So if I had a lawn with clover in it, I would have so many bee stings.
Now there's some other things about lawns. The dense roots help anchor the topsoil and reduce water and wind loss by as much as 18 times compared to bare dirt. It filters water. Thick grass roots trap pollutants and helps clean the rainwater as it goes through the root system and down into the local groundwater. It blocks weeds, which my backyard is proof of that.
Yeah.
It's dense. My dogs run all over it, and you can't tell. But you keep it nice and dense and thick by watering and fertilizing appropriately. It keeps the weeds out, so no herbicide necessary.
Yeah.
It cools the air. Grass acts as a natural air conditioner, staying up to 30% cooler than asphalt, or 30 degrees cooler, than asphalt, and 14 degrees cooler than bare soil or, say, a gravel ground cover.
Yeah.
It reduces noise. It acts as a blanket. It absorbs the urban and neighborhood noise by 8 to 10 decibels. That's significant.
That's huge.
Safety concerns. It provides a soft, low-impact surface for playing on for kids and dogs, reducing physical injury problems.
Sure.
So how do you play catch with a dog in a vegetable garden or a flower bed?
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, I'm using the term now, essential lawn and non-essential lawn.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not that you get rid of the lawn in your whole yard. I have lawn. Keith has lawn. And we both have extensive gardens.
Yes, we do.
On our property. And, but start to look like, is there areas of your yard that maybe you could shrink your lawn area so you can have, your perennial beds maybe a little bit bigger. And then in those areas, think about ground cover versus mulch. But don't know. I don't get the villainization of lawns.
I don't either. And like I said, I took out 90% of my lawn.
Yeah, me too.
Just because I wanted more places to garden. When we get back, we'll talk more about the health value of lawns as well. But that music means we've got to get out of here for the top of the hour break, which is very, very short. So you have a little bit of time to go run and get yourself a nice fresh cup of coffee or tea or whatever, maybe a mimosa. Doesn't that sound good?
Oh, it does sound great.
All right. So stick tuned. You're listening to The Garden Wise Show, and this is Legends 810. We'll be back for the 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock hour of The Garden Wise Show.
This is KLVZ, 810 AM and HD, Brighton, Denver. KLVZ FM, 94.3 and 95.3. Streaming at legends953.com.
Welcome to the Garden Wise Show with Colorado's most knowledgeable and entertaining garden experts with host Keith Funk, the Garden Wise Guy. Get ready for gardening tips that you can use right now. New plants, hot products, and the latest from horticultural science. The phone lines are open, so call into the Legend Studio now. 303-477-2473. That's 303-477-2473. Or text your questions and photos to 303-477-5600. That's 303-477-5600. On the air since 1994, Keith and his guests have been answering your questions about gardening in the high-altitude desert of the Colorado Front Range. And now, here's your host, Keith Funk, the Garden Wise Guy.
Yep, that would be me. My name is Keith Funk, and hi, welcome to the Garden Wise Show. Joining me today is Devon Hukill.
Good morning.
One of my favorites. I shouldn't say my favorite. Luann's gonna get me for that.
I was gonna say, Luann's listening. He
Yes,
didn't
she
mean
is.
it, Luann.
Luann from Tagawas, and then of course Devon join me as co-host every other week, and then sometimes even Colette
I
from
think
Nick's.
she'll be here this month.
Yeah, she will be here the
End of
last
the month.
Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we've been talking about lawns and things like that, but let's get back to some other subjects. We've got Sam from Twin Oaks on the line right now. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Devin. How are you guys?
Good morning, Sam.
Nice to hear your voice. What's going on this beautiful Colorado 150th birthday?
Well, it is. It's a good day. So yeah, the mimosas sound like a great idea. I probably should wait till like 10 or so for that. But
Hey, it's 5 o'clock
anyway.
somewhere.
Oh, you're probably out working today, aren't you?
yes, unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, I'm
Fortunately.
fortunate to have to work.
Fortunately.
But you know how it is, Devin.
Oh, do I?
The reason I'm calling, and actually you just mentioned Colette, she hit me up this week about a technique that they're using in Japan for drought-stressed trees.
Oh, that's yeah.
Called canopy reduction.
Okay.
Where you actually, struggling branches that may still be alive, they've found that they're able to improve trees' health and longevity by proper pruning. So I just wanted to remind your listeners that it's still a good time to prune. Dead wood you can take out of trees anytime. And it's just it got me thinking, so I did some research on it. And, like for maples, ash trees, honey locusts. I've seen the honey locusts struggling a lot around town with the Thyronectria canker, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And, it's just a good practice to get that dead wood out because the trees are trying to shed those dead branches. So if you can hire a professional arborist, it doesn't have to be me, but find a professional, not just a chuck in a truck, as I call them.
Chuck in a truck. That's hilarious.
Yeah, a guy with the chainsaw. If they got a chainsaw and a ladder, and it's yeah. But anyway, hire a professional, get your trees assessed, and do some pruning. But just crown reduction and canopy reduction is a popular practice that they've used in Japan actually for centuries, dating back to some of their castles and things like that. So anyway, just I wanted to remind people that you can prolong your tree's life with proper pruning. It's a good practice every 3 to 5 years to come in and remove all dead, broken, crossing branches, and you can train the tree's growth, away from the home, away from the garage. Devin, you well know about selecting the bud that's going to grow the proper direction. So I just wanted to remind folks that with this drought, just don't forget about pruning and water. A 10-inch tree needs 100 gallons of water a month. A 20-inch tree needs 200, and I highly doubt your trees are getting that. So anyway,
well, that's some good information right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
my trees aren't getting that. And then, so when you say canopy reduction, Sam, are you talking about heading the canopy back, or are you talking about thinning the canopy out?
thinning generally,
That's what I
or yeah, about by a third or
third.
so. Well,
We're not
depending
talking
on the
about
size of the
we're not
tree.
talking about topping a tree.
Yeah.
No, oh goodness, no.
Yep.
No. If we were supposed to top trees, they would have squirrels would have chainsaws for feet.
That's right. And I think
So,
it's
no,
illegal in most counties
Yeah.
to do that to trees because it gives them a death sentence.
It really does. It really does. So just hire professionals, and you'll be able to get through this drought.
Perfect.
All right. And professionals like Sam at Twin Oaks, if you'd like his telephone number. Sam is great at being able to identify health problems with your trees and shrubs, anywhere from nutrient deficiencies to insect problems to disease problems, and how to deal with them effectively. Write this number down, 720-263-2337. That's 720-263-2337, and that is Sam with Twin Oaks Consulting.
I gave your name out earlier this week.
Oh, bless your heart, Devin. Thank you so
welcome.
much.
You're
And it
welcome.
sounds like, Keith, I'll see you next week, actually.
Yeah, you're going to be my guest host next weekend.
That's exciting.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm not nervous at all.
Well, just keep in mind, I'm the better looking one.
This is true. I've known that. I've known that for many years now.
I'm just kidding.
So.
Sam is a very handsome man. So we'll see you next Saturday.
Sounds good. Have a good weekend, you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks for your
Sam.
time.
Thanks, Sam. All righty. I did want to remind everybody that I do have a website. You know, the Garden Wise guys, we've been on the air for 32 years now.
Is it 32?
Yeah. And never had a website until this year. We just started one up.
My business doesn't have one either.
Too
busy.
And it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it more than I thought I would. But if you would like to check it out, it's very easy to get to. It's just gardenwiseguy.com. That's easy to remember, right? Gardenwiseguy.com.
Yeah.
And I have a free newsletter, a monthly newsletter that you can sign up for. You don't have to pay for it. It'll just come straight to your email box, and we won't give that email out to anybody else, of course. But I also post the newsletter on the website, so you can go to the website and read the newsletter there, along with a lot of other articles and monthly tips and the radio show. You can watch the radio show or listen to it at least from the website. And then, of course, there's my Shopify store, if I can throw in a little promo on my own.
Yeah.
I have a Shopify store that I started this year that sells garden-themed T-shirts and caps.
Yeah.
Very much like the one I'm wearing right now, the Garden Wise Guy. And you can get one of those, and you can be your own Garden Wise Guy.
I love it.
All
I
right.
love it.
So check that out, gardenwiseguy.com. Love to have you sign up for the newsletter and check out my new website. Let me know what you think about it, because you can leave me messages. You can leave me questions for the radio show. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of ways of
Interacting.
communicating and interacting with me on the website.
Yep.
So there
I
you
think
have
that's
that.
great.
Let's see. Let's hit some of these text messages here. How about the bottom one there, Sean? It looks like there's a picture attached.
This is a shady triangle with a hosta which has been eaten.
We're waiting for the...
Picture.
There we go. Oh, it's been eaten by deer.
Oh, that's right. That's what she said.
Deer they just love hosta.
They do.
That's terrible. We want to replace with drought-tolerant plants. What do you recommend in a shady location like that? And the first one that comes to my mind that's a drought-tolerant plant in my yard that the deer will not touch is Brunnera.
Oh, yes. Lady's mantle
Lady's mantle
is another one of mine.
is another one. Yeah.
Lamium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the lamiums, the sometimes called dead nettles. I don't know. That's a horrible name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plumbago.
Plumbago is a great one. How about Pulmonaria, lungswort?
Lungwort, yeah. Yep, that would
They
be a
wouldn't
good one.
eat them. I've never seen them eat ferns for some little bit of height.
Exactly.
Now, if you do have them, though, they won't eat the ferns, but if they do walk through the bed, they can break the ferns. What about fallen enemies? Are those deer resistant? But they're not really drought tolerant.
What are you talking about?
Fallen enemies?
Oh, I thought you said fallen enemies.
Oh, I was like, you look like a deer in headlights there for a second.
Fallen enemies, yeah, you could lay them there and the deer will stay away, I suppose. It might smell after a while.
Fallen enemies.
Yes, fallen enemies.
Deer don't eat them. But how drought tolerant? Oh, are they?
Deer eat the flowers.
They do eat the flowers.
Yes,
I've never noticed it.
Remember at that location in Castle Pines, they grow the foliage, and the flowers would come up, and the deer would eat the flowers.
No, I don't know. I think it changes every year.
Yeah.
But they will eat things like snow in the mountain.
Yeah.
So that they love to eat that. So that I wouldn't put in. Plus, that's a garden thug.
But I think we've given some good ideas. If you're going to plant some ferns, stick with things like male fern or lady fern or ghost fern. And those could all be planted, say, near the fence line where the deer won't be walking.
Yeah.
And that would help protect them from being crushed by being trampled on.
Yeah, and that gives you a little bit of height, too, back there by your back fence, which would be nice.
But Brunnera is one of my favorites, and I think it would be a good replacement for the hosta because Brunnera has the variegated foliage.
Yep.
Sort of like hosta.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty all summer long with these big heart-shaped leaves that have the silver and the white and the green in them. And then in the spring they have these beautiful blue forget-me-not flowers over them for several months.
It is one of my garden's favorites. I absolutely love the plant.
And it'll take anywhere from full shade to, I can't say full sun.
No, they don't take full sun, but they can handle a good half day of sunlight.
Especially morning.
Yeah. That's what I guess.
But they are a good drought-tolerant plant. So look for those in the garden center. Plumbago makes a great ground cover, blooms in the late summer. And
Virginia is pretty pig squeak is its common name.
It's an evergreen.
It is.
That's always nice.
Now they will take a dry location. They won't take a super dry location.
Right.
My garden tends to be super dry. So I've got some that get a little bit more water. They look a little better. Some that get a little less water. They look a little less better.
Well, I'm a big fan of ferns here in Colorado, and people think ferns need to be wet all the time, and they don't if you choose your ferns properly. The genus is Dryopterus, and the reason I remember that is because the first three letters are D-R-Y, dry.
I get a huge smile on my face because I learned that from you, and it's just always one of those little tidbits that I love to regurgitate.
And so male ferns, lady ferns, ghost ferns, they all have Dryopterus in them, or are Dryopterus plants, and they will take a drier, shadier situation than you would expect.
Yep. And then lady's mantle too.
Oh, I love lady's mantle.
It's such a favorite of mine, and it spreads and does its thing. So so most of the time our shade perennials are in the whites and blue flower tones. A lot of them are. And the great thing about lady's mantle, it's a yellow.
Yeah.
You know, it's a limey yellow.
An acid yellow.
Yeah. Which that's fun, and it's a nice mounder.
So hopefully that gives you some ideas to go look for at the garden centers. I know that a lot of the garden centers like Nick's and Tagawa's and so forth are all having big sales right now.
Yeah.
There are perennials and trees and shrubs and that sort of thing. Most of them are 30% off or more.
Yeah, great. And a lot of people think it's a bad time to plant with the heat that we're having right now. But we have water restrictions of twice a week, but you're allowed to hand water.
Any day.
Yeah, any day. Preferably before 10 o'clock and then after 6 o'clock. And that's not because the water burns the leaves. That's because there's less water evaporation. And so I have, as long as you're watering thoroughly, I find that it's fine to transplant now or plant now.
Yeah. Well, the plants will be much happier in the ground than they are sitting in a pot on the nursery bench.
Yeah. Yep. Sometimes too, if you're planting things in a sun spot, if you could just provide a little bit of shade for like a week,
Yes.
to kind of get it through some of the transplant shock, I find they transplant great.
And if you're using drip irrigation, learn about drip irrigation before you plant. Learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Learn what, how many gallons per hour your drip system is putting out per emitter. And that will help you determine how long you run
Yeah.
your system. I hear it all the time. Well, I run my drip system, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, and you're giving the plant a cup of water.
Well, and they might have 1 gallon an hour emitters on it, but kind of be consistent too, with your emitter sizes.
Yeah.
There's trees and shrubs need more water, so you have to put. I don't like bigger emitters necessarily. I like to put more emitters per plant if it
Yeah.
needs more water, like a
Around
tree.
the perimeter.
Around the perimeter.
Yeah.
So let's say that you have 4 2-gallon-hour emitters on a tree. That's better than having 1 or 2 5-gallon-an-hour emitters
There you
on
go.
there,
Uh-huh.
because you're watering more evenly spaced out around the tree versus
Exactly.
in one location. But and things like perennials, a lot of people put like a half a gallon an hour emitter on a perennial, or even a 1 gallon an hour emitter on a perennial, and then they don't adjust how long they're turning their irrigation system on. When you're putting like a 1 gallon an hour emitter on, that means you have to run your drip system for 1 hour for it to put a gallon on that one perennial.
Uh-huh.
And so people just don't realize that.
Yeah. And then the other thing about drip systems, which I find is kind of a drawback, is that over time, as that plant gets established and its root system expands out beyond where that little dripper covers, you're limiting that plant's ability to become drought tolerant because it can't expand its root system because you're only watering a small spot right in the middle of that plant.
Grasses, ornamental grasses are notorious for that.
Yeah.
Because you put this one emitter and put a line, and then that grass grows up around it and kind of eats that emitter. And I struggle with that a bit. And the other
rabbits eat the emitters.
The other downfall to drip systems, with that being said, they're wonderful, is that it's not great for ground covers.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because you can't, it's hard to run an emitter. When you have an intensive garden, like Keith's, for example, he couldn't water that garden and have it look the way it does with a drip system
No,
and emitters.
No,
Because of the ground cover.
I have overhead pop-ups that
Yeah.
water my landscape.
Yeah.
I don't have a drip system in my yard at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
So-
tried.
Now, if you have a little bit simpler of a garden design where you have shrubs and some perennials, then and you have mulch over the top, drip systems are perfect for that. And they are more water efficient than overhead.
Yeah.
Because they put the water right at the soil, so you have a lot less evaporation. So
That's true, and there's less disease problems if that's an issue. But I've not found that to be an issue with my overhead watering. Drip systems, I find, are probably best in my mind used in vegetable gardens.
yeah, but like we said, we go back to that like appropriate and responsible use of your irrigation system. You're not running your overhead sprinklers on your perennial beds as often as you can. You're running it 1 to 2 days a week.
Yep. Some days I turn it off, or certain zones I will turn off because I know that they dry out more slowly
Yep.
than other zones. So that's just something you need to monitor if you're wanting to save water. And I did want to mention one other thing about lawns. We were talking about lawns
yeah.
earlier and the benefits of a lawn, that they're not the evil villains that often made out to be. Lawns clean the air. The grass blades trap dust. and they grab carbon dioxide and store carbon dioxide in the soil in the root systems, and they release oxygen. Grass lawns release more oxygen per square foot than the same square footage of trees. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The green spaces lower stress on people,
They do.
reduce heart rates, and improve mental wellness. Doesn't have to be big green spaces.
Nope.
They can be small green spaces. They raise property values. A quality landscaping with a vibrant lawn in the appropriate size and cared for properly can boost your home value by as much as 15%. That is significant. So, and there's a lot more that you can use an electric mower. You don't have to use a gas mower
Sure.
for environmental purposes. So you had asked a question about what if you want to replace the lawn that you do have with something else? How would you go about that?
Yeah, that's something that with a more drought tolerant option than a bluegrass.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of briefly covered some of the drawbacks of other varieties of grasses versus bluegrass.
Although I find that bluegrass is probably one of the most drought tolerant grasses that grows here.
I know.
I mean, it might not be green during a drought, but it won't be dead.
Yeah. And that's kind of, the information that's pumped out there is that, bluegrass is very water hog, it's a water hog, but it's sure it'll take the amount of water, as much water as you want to give it, but I find that it repairs itself and it comes back out of dormancy better than some of the drought tolerant options.
Absolutely.
Dogtooth turf is a good potential replacement for it,
Dogtooth
but
turf.
it's expensive. You can go to the store and I bought bags of grass seed this week. I bought 3 pounds for $20, $25. And
but not of dogtooth.
no, and of bluegrass blend. I was doing some overseeding, but dogtooth doesn't come in a seed. You
No.
have to buy it as plugs.
And you also need to know if you're going to seed a grass, what kind of grass you have, whether it's a warm season or a cool season grass that you want to put in, because that's going to determine the time of year that you put the seed down.
Yeah.
Warm season grasses don't like to be seeded in March.
No.
Bluegrass,
they'll be dormant.
fescue, perennial rye do like that cool part of the year. So you do need to kind of do a little bit of research and figure it out. If you're going to put dogtooth in, if you've got a bluegrass lawn or just a weedy lawn that you want to correct, most people are. I'm probably going to get some. Probably going to get some pushback on this, but I would kill the grass that you have, but don't take it out.
Yeah.
Just scalp it down as low as you can with your lawnmower and plug the dogtooth or tahoma, which is similar to dogtooth. Just plug those plugs into the dead grass because it'll act like a mulch.
Yeah.
Keep the soil cool and keep the moisture in and keep the weeds down while your new grass is getting established.
Yeah. And a great way to plant those plugs is you can get like just a little drill bit and just go zzz, 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 and then plant your plugs in after that.
After that, yep. Yo ho ho, we're back to the show. This is the Garden Wise Show. My name is Keith Funk. I'll be your host here till 9 o'clock this morning. As always, Saturday mornings from 7 to 9 o'clock. You can always tune in to the Garden Wise Show year round. And joining me today is Devon Hukill. Thank you,
Good
Devon.
morning.
And we're here to answer your gardening questions, and we've got some text messages here that we got to get going to right away. The first one that's going to be a quickie is, good morning, what is the ET this week? Love your show. Thank you. And thank you for the little heart emoji. That's so sweet. Yeah. The ET this week is 1.84 inches. And that just means that our landscapes, typically measured by your lawn grass, I believe, but the landscapes have lost 1.84 inches of moisture in the last 7 days. So that will help you determine how long to run your sprinkler systems on any given day.
Yeah.
And that information comes from the Denver Water Department.
Yep.
And they have several different locations up and down the Front Range where they measure that. You can go to the Denver Water Department website, denverwater.org, and you can find their ET chart, and you can just add up how much was lost each day.
Where do you take the measurement from?
The Centennial Airport,
Gotcha.
and that's the closest one to me.
Yeah.
DIA I think is way too far out there. And
Sure.
then there's one up north on North Wadsworth. What's that? There's an airport up there.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of the name of it right offhand, but my oldest son used to take flying lessons there. Let's see. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So the ET is an important measurement to know how much water your landscape is losing on a weekly basis, and how to adjust your sprinkler system accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can subtract, say, hopefully you're measuring your rainfall. What rainfall, right? What rainfall? But if we had 1.84 inches of ET and we had half an inch of rain, you can subtract that half an inch of rain from that 1.84 inches
Yep.
to give you a more accurate
Yeah.
situation. So that's the ET. And there we go. Let's see. We have an email down here. Good morning, Keith and Devon. I am planning on a few changes in my flower beds and wanted to know when would be a good time to start this year to transplant hostas, grasses, ferns, peonies, and a few other partial sun and full sun perennials that I have not yet selected for the big move. Thanks for your guidance. So I'm taking this to read. Now tell me if I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah.
That they haven't purchased these plants.
See, I'm feeling like we're going to answer it both ways, because I feel like they are making changes in their yard and they need to move those plants. They're already existing in their landscape and they're
Okay.
wanting to move it.
To dig them up.
Yeah, well, we'll answer both.
Well, why don't you start with the digging up?
Okay. For digging up, I would wait till we get into a little bit cooler weather, into September.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly for ornamental grasses and peonies, you don't want to move them during the hot part of, like, when we're in 90-degree weather. I would wait until we're in that 70-degree weather to kind of move those type of things.
I don't like to move anything now.
Yeah, no, nothing now.
Not if you're digging it up out of the ground, an established plant, and moving it.
Yeah. So I would wait until mid-end September. And some of those things can be done in October as well.
Mm-hmm.
But or first thing in the spring. The ornamental grasses is a concern of mine for fall moving.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're planting a potted ornamental grass, I find they do not like to be planted late in the fall. So anything
What's late in the fall?
Anything towards the end of October,
Yeah.
beginning of November, I would not do that to an ornamental grass. Even if it's potted, I have found a lot less survival rates. And then all of this stuff is important that you move to winter water.
And mulch.
Yes. Yeah.
And winter watering, how often?
Oh, I always tell, it depends this winter, we could have been watering every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we had no moisture and way too hot. I always tell people they recommend every 6 weeks to do a deep watering. I always tell people once a month, because then they probably have the likelihood of doing it once every 6 weeks. I don't know, some reverse psychology of winter watering here.
Yeah.
So I think if you think in your mind to try to do it once a month, it's not going to hurt it if you're watering once a month. But always when the temperatures are above 40 degrees.
And the ground is not frozen. So we're talking November through March.
Yep.
For winter watering.
I think sometimes February and March are the most important months, because we can get really dry and really warm in some of February and March. Now, that whole adage of March is our snowiest month, one kind of has been shifting a little bit. February has been trying to compete with that, but it just depends on the year, like this year.
Snow typically doesn't count.
Yeah.
Toward your winter watering.
Unless we get a heavy, wet snow.
Yeah, like a foot.
Yeah.
Because so much of the snow, especially the light skiffs that we get, evaporates.
Yeah,
It doesn't
so
soak in.
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll take the other end.
Perfect.
If you have not purchased the plants yet and are looking to buy them, again, fall, even now, in through fall is a great time to plant new perennials that are potted because they have all of their roots. You're not disturbing the roots.
Yep.
And especially as we get into the cooler months, but also because you get them on sale.
You get them on sale. The ground is warm.
Right.
So you don't have to put them in the ground and they wait for the ground to warm up. The ground's warm. So
the
they
roots-
will root in right away.
Yeah. The tops may not look florist quality.
Sure.
But you're planting for next year.
Yeah.
You're not planting for this year. You're planting for next year and years after.
Yep.
So, there's nothing wrong with going to the garden center and looking at a plant and then you think, this one looks a little rough, but I need this particular plant, is to tip it out of the pot and look at the roots.
Yep.
If the roots are nice and healthy, put it back in the pot, take it home, plant it.
Yep.
Because the tops of the plants, this time of year, they've gone through a lot of stress in the nurseries from the heat and people
Watering.
coming in and picking them up and putting them down and rearranging them and picking them up and putting them down and dropping them and, that sort of thing. So, the plants in the nursery do get some abuse that they wouldn't in the lawn or the yard, I mean. So, they're not going to look florist quality
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
But the root system is what counts.
Yep.
All right. So, yes, you can do that anytime between now and the end of October.
Yeah.
You mentioned planting late in October for grasses, especially warm season grasses. I find planting late in October with evergreens
Yeah.
is getting on the risky side.
It is. I completely agree. It's kind of like, evergreens never grow dormant. And our winter months can be just a really long bouts of just dry air. And, you think about it, wind, and think about how chapped your skin gets in the wintertime. It's kind of the same thing for evergreens. They're just out there in this really dry area where we just don't have a lot of humidity and they suffer.
So are the deciduous trees and shrubs, but they don't have leaves in the winter.
Yeah, they're not.
Evergreens have leaves all year round, so they lose moisture all year round through those needles.
We really neglect them too, as far as making sure they get enough water.
And pine trees, except for maybe the biggest exception would be pinyon pine, but most pine trees like ponderosas and Austrians and that sort of thing, spruces, these are not low water trees.
They are not.
Just because they have needles doesn't mean they're desert trees.
And just because they're native, some of these are native,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that some of those big trees are just, they just have such an extensive root system, and they're really good at robbing moisture away from other plants.
One of the things I learned when we first moved out here back in the late 70s, I had no idea that as you go up in elevation, where the ponderosa pines are native, where the spruce trees are native, and the fir trees are native, they get 3 times, 4 times the moisture up there than we do down here.
Yeah. Up there is the snow might count a little bit more.
Quite a bit more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're planting evergreens, especially spruces. I find spruces are particularly sensitive to getting too dry when they're first planted.
Yeah.
And it takes these trees 2, 3, 4 years to get well established before they can take a little bit more abuse and a little bit more drought tolerance. But I don't find them to be what I would consider low water trees.
Yeah.
In Virginia, they would be considered low water
Sure.
trees, where you're getting 60 inches of rain a year.
Yeah.
They don't need that much. But here we get 14 inches of moisture in a good year. 14.
So I looked it up the other day. Oh my God, because I was telling my sister, because she's in Michigan. Hello, Megan. She's in Michigan, and they get so much more moisture than we do. I looked it up. Measurable forms of moisture, that includes any snow that we got and any rain that we got. Up till now, we've had 5.6 inches
Is
of
that it?
moisture. Yes. That is, and if you look at our ET just for this week, we've got 1.84 inches of ET just this week.
Yes.
So in a 2-week time, we've lost the amount of moisture out of our landscape that we've gotten for the entire year up until now.
Yes.
If that's not alarming, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
but yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but it was an alarming thing I looked up this week, and I was like, holy cow. Although I had a massive storm blow through my house yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my
a lot
God. Thought
of
it had some
rain.
damage.
Didn't last long.
No. Flooding, street floodings. Oh, my God.
All right. We've got some more text messages here. How can I get rid of this in my lawn? And this being a picture of purslane in a lawn area.
Yep.
Purslane is an annual weed, which means it dies every winter.
Yep.
It doesn't come back from the roots. It comes back from seed.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is just to make sure it doesn't go to seed.
Yep.
Because the seed will last for decades in the soil. In the lawn area, you could use something like weed-free zone or you can hand pull it.
I was going to say annual weeds are such easy to hand pull, especially if you've letting them get a little big.
Letting them get
a little big. They're so easy to go through and pull.
Yeah.
But I also realize that can be.
Yeah.
If
But
you've got a big lawn.
if you go out there for 10 minutes a day, you can get through a lawn pretty good just by hand pulling.
Yeah.
But make sure that the soil is moist,
Yeah.
so that you can get the roots, and then don't leave the weed lay there.
Yeah.
You want to dispose of them in your trash can.
Because sometimes if a plant realizes it's dying, it'll quickly throw out some flowers and seeds.
Even if it's not rooted in.
Yeah. They can go to seed. But yeah. And if you don't treat your lawn with herbicides or anything like that, and you want to be adventurous, purslane is very edible. It's high in vitamin C. And I don't like the texture. It's slimy. But you could throw it in a smoothie.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
I hear you cook it like spinach.
I haven't done that.
Yeah. You know what my favorite weed is to eat? Oxalis.
Oh, you told me that. I still have yet to try it.
I love oxalis.
Oh.
It is so tasty, and you throw it in salads. The flowers are pretty in salads.
Yeah.
It's a noxious weed. It's just,
oh my God.
It'll grow everywhere.
This week I've been pulling it. The last few weeks I've just been pulling and pulling. Not in my own garden.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I think my garden's a little too dry for it, but.
But yeah, oxalis is tasty. Either the green form or the purple form. They have this nice kind of sour. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very pleasant.
I'm gonna hunt for some. I don't. Like I said, I don't really have it in my garden, but I'll look for it.
All right. Well, while we take a break, why don't you look for some? You're listening to the Garden Wise Show on Legends 810. All right. We finally came up with the word where you assign human traits to inanimate objects, and I think it's called anthropomorphication or something like that.
Something out of X-Men.
Yeah, so that's right. We'll just call it aluminum, and that'll make it easy.
Okay.
What else? Oh,
yeah, anthropomorphism.
Anthropomorphism
Or personification is both, but I think we were going more with anthropomorphism.
Where we're talking about roots thinking that they can go find some water someplace.
Yeah.
Anyway, I walked out, and this is another lesson to teach everybody. I walked out into my yard early one morning. For what reason I don't remember, and one of my sprinkler zones was on at the time, and there's this fountain coming up out of my yard, landing in the middle of my driveway.
Yeah. So.
If I hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have known for
Yeah.
who knows how many weeks.
Oh, and right now, it is so important that we all make sure should be our number one responsibility right now in the gardens. If you have an irrigation system, make sure it's running efficiently.
And the only way to do that is during the day.
Yep, test
when
it
you can see it.
once a week, once a month.
Yeah.
Not once a week, once a month. Just set your irrigation clocks on a test cycle. If you don't know how to do that, the next time your irrigation person comes, have them show you.
Go on YouTube.
Sure.
It'll show you how to use pretty much any sprinkler controller. Just type in on YouTube, how do I use this Rainbird XYZ 24D?
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. And it'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, and but run a test on your system. You only need to run each zone 1 or 2 minutes. You're not going to get in trouble for doing it in the middle of the daytime. You're just making sure your system's running efficiently. But test it because you always have broken nozzles, broken heads, clogged nozzles. Plants, this is a huge one that I don't think people pay attention to often enough, is that you've got plants close to your perennial border or shrubs, perennials or shrubs, and then they start to grow over that border a little bit, and they'll block irrigation heads. Right now I have a catmint growing over one of my pop-up heads. And yesterday I was pruning a client's mugopline that was blocking a sprinkler head and then they have a good old little chunk of dead lawn because the sprinkler head can't get to it. It's being blocked. But
the lawn will do it.
Yeah,
the lawn will grow up around a sprinkler head and block the pattern properly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so it's always a good idea to test your system once a month, do a 1 to 2 minute run per zone and test it.
If you want to buy a Christmas present for a gardener in your home, your husband, your wife, whoever is in charge of that, or a significant other, buy a sprinkler controller that is controlled by you can control by your phone.
Yeah.
They're
a lot
easy.
of the cities will give you a rebate for them too. So look into that.
They're not expensive.
They can be if you've got to put a big one in, but yeah.
Yeah, if you can't have a big one. But that way you can just walk around on your phone and just test your different zones and be done in 10 minutes.
You have a Rainbird one.
I have a Rainbird one.
Yep, I have.
Thanks to you.
I have a HydroWise one. HydroWise is not my favorite. And then there's Ratio, which is local. It's a Colorado company. My only problem with Ratio is I like to be able to also go to the timer, the clock, and run it manually from there if I need to.
If you need to, yeah.
So you can with HydroWise, you can with
Rainbird.
HydroWise, I swear you need a degree in nuclear science or something. Like, oh my God, it's so difficult to use. And they made it way more difficult than they need to. But Ratio, you don't have that ability. I wish that was one thing that they could change on theirs. But their app is super easy to use. And they all come with an app that you put on your phone. But it's so convenient. At any time, I could be sitting here right now and run an irrigation zone at my house.
You could be in Italy.
Yeah.
And turn your sprinkler system on or off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just makes it so nice to have that convenience.
Sure.
So that is an idea for a Christmas present.
It's
for a loved one.
You got it as a Christmas present.
I did, and it's been one of my favorite Christmas presents ever.
Yep. Yeah.
So there you go. Let's see what else we got going on here.
I think we need to answer the funny corn weed question. Make Keith laugh so hard.
Oh yeah, we have a question here. Good morning. My mom's house is starting to get taken over with thistle. It's getting worse, and corn stalks. How do I get rid of these? So we looked at the pictures, and yes, indeed, there is
thistles in the lawn.
Canada thistle.
Yep.
Which is
talking about not the difference between an annual weed and a perennial weed. Annual weeds like spurge or purslane pull so easily. Thistles, oh my God.
Yeah, they're the worst. It's a perennial, and those root systems run deep and wide.
And when you pull it, it breaks. I mean, it's designed that way. They break. you get your fingers all full of the pokies,
Thorns,
the
yeah.
thorns, and then wherever you break it off, it branches out, and then you get 2 thistles in its place.
Yes.
You can eventually starve it out if you keep pulling and are diligent about it. But oh my God, I hate that plant.
So in the lawn,
Yeah.
which is where I see this picture, definitely use weed-free zone liquid. You can spot
Absolutely.
treat the individual plants. You don't have to spray the whole yard.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Nope.
Just spot treat where the weed is.
And it's a stubborn weed, so it might take a couple treatments of it.
It might take a couple of years
Yeah, exactly.
to get rid of it all, because it travels underground.
So I find sometimes if you spray and kill one, they'll shift and move in your yard.
Yes.
That alley campanula rampanoides does that as well. I find that
Yeah.
if you take care of it in one area, you never kill the plant. It just comes up. It can come up on the other side of your yard.
Yes, yes, exactly. In fact, I'm guilty of going across the street to my neighbor's little hell strip, outside their fence between the sidewalk and their privacy fence. There's a gravel strip,
Yeah.
and there's Canada thistle there. I didn't spray it because I don't want to use a chemical on someone else's yard, but I did go and cut off all the flower and seed heads,
Oh my
and put them in
God.
a bag and put them in the trash.
Yes. Those things are awful.
So, where was I going with that? So, yeah, you can spray, spot treat the Canada thistle that's coming up in the yard, that prickly stuff. Don't mow first. Keep those plants growing, because the way weed-free zone works, and most any weed killer anymore works, is it goes in through the foliage only. So the more leaves you have, the more weed killer it will absorb and carry down to the root system, and you'll get a better kill.
Yeah. And fall is a great time
Great time.
to kill weeds because they're pulling all of that nutrients and green back into the root system to store for food during the wintertime. Well, with that, then they take all that chemical in
Yeah.
to store. And
So a great time
better.
for killing bindweed as well.
Oh, that's another one. That actually for me is more of an arch nemesis
Yeah.
than thistle. They say you can starve bindweed out. I have never, in the 16 years I've been professionally gardening, I've never starved bindweed out of any location.
Is that right?
Yep, never. And I know people have done it. And then the second
corn
part of this,
stalks.
the corn stalks. We were like, corn stalks.
Oh, why would you want to get rid of
I
corn
know.
stalks?
And the picture is of the hardy pampas grass, which hardy pampas grass is lovely in the locations where you want it, but it will reseed.
Yes.
And those seedlings take root and root in heavy so quick. Even tiny little seedlings they're hard to remove.
Yeah. And it's a big grass. It's the one you see around town or in front of residential entrances to residential areas, or in medians and that sort of thing, that grows 8-10 feet tall with these big plumes at the top. That's the hardy pampas grass. It's not a true pampas grass.
No.
But try to dig that out.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
So you want to get the seedlings when they're young, because otherwise you're going to need a good strong back and a pickaxe and a shovel.
And a torch.
And I mean, they're such deep-rooted plants.
They are. And make sure your shovel is very sharp.
Yep. And so that's not one I would recommend if you don't have it in you to remove, have somebody come and remove it for you.
Yeah, the root system is tough.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get a shovel through, and it goes so deeply. Fortunately, you only have to go down, 8 or 10 inches?
Yeah, 12 inches at max.
Yeah.
It's not like a shrub where their root systems are going to have anchoring root systems deep. So, but
It's not going to resprout. Once you get that main crown away, it's not going to resprout.
but they are a bear. So good luck with that.
So water heavily in that area first,
Yeah.
so that the soil is nice and moist and easy to get into. Make sure your shovel is very sharp, and
good luck.
keep hydrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Put up one of those pop-up tents over you.
There you go. One of the easiest things too is to cut it down first.
Oh, for sure. And, try to pick a cool day, because if you can wear a long sleeve shirt and pants while you're doing it, that's better. So that grass has these little tiny hairs all up the lower part of the stems, and those little hairs get into your skin and make
Yeah.
you really itchy.
That's why I'm saying cut it down first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll take twine or jute or something like that,
A bungee
even
cord.
bungee cords, and bundle it together into like a corn stalk, a shock, like
yeah.
you see at Halloween or something, and then cut it off as close to the ground as you can, so that it all holds together.
Yep, and then you can use electric hedge trimmers if you have a nice, strong hedge trimmers. Some of
Chainsaw.
those chainsaw, like legit. Some of those heavy canes are hard to get through.
Yeah.
Like even with hand loppers, they're really hard to get through.
Yeah.
They're never one of my. It's not one of my favorite grasses in the springtime.
No.
To clean up.
No,
So yeah.
it is not. You're absolutely right. Let's see, what else have we got here? We haven't talked about stump removal and daughter. So, yes, that's if you've got a stump that needs to be removed, I don't care what size it is.
Yeah.
If you need some tree trimming done,
Yeah.
that's another thing that they do. Give my friend Mordecai a call. That's stump removal and daughter. And his daughter's grown and moved away, so you don't have to worry about a little daughter coming along with him. He'll be on his own. 303-246-6891. Stump removal and daughter, 303-246-6891. And that's Mordecai.
Yep.
And he's quite a character.
He
You'll
is.
just love him.
Yep.
He's adorable. Let's see. A new Tartarian hot wings maple last year was planted in my yard. It appears healthy, but the samaras, which are the seed pods, are brown, not the beautiful red of its predecessor. What happened? And that's the drought.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the tree will sacrifice its seeds.
Sure. It's just, guys, it's just a rough year. Plants are blooming less, I find. They're just trying to conserve.
Yeah.
So,
It's just a dryness issue, not something to worry about. It's not a disease or an insect
Yeah.
that's infecting your tree.
but make sure if it's just on the regular, like, lawn sprinkler, it wouldn't hurt to occasionally every 2 weeks go out and just put your hose on it on a slow trickle and just give that some good deep watering.
But not right at the trunk.
No, in the root zone.
In the root zone, yes. So that
If it's a new tree, it's not going to have too many roots too far outside of the drip zone yet, which is if you take the canopy and go down.
or you
but-
can use a little frog eye sprinkler.
Frog-eyed. I am not a fan of deep root waterers.
I'm not either.
That is a whole other controversial subject. I had this conversation this week. The majority of the tree's roots that are in the that take in water and nutrients are in the top 12 inches of soil. Well, those root feeders or deep root waterers punch well below that root zone and through the root zone. And if you've ever taken a hose and put it on a fairly decent high-powered spray and held it at dirt, it pushes that soil out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
So if you put a deep root water into the ground and turn it on too high of a pressure, it's pushing that mud away and compacting the soil in around
Making tunnels.
It is. It's making
Yeah.
tunnels. It's making little air pockets. And so I'm a bigger fan of a frog-eyed sprinkler, sprinkler.
Turned on really low.
Yeah, because that
After
covers,
dark, so nobody can see what you're doing.
or on the days of week that you're allowed to water. But I find it gets the whole root zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
what you're after.
I don't know. That's my controversial conversation.
Yeah, most people shove those deep root waterers way too deep in the ground, and you're putting the water below the
root
roots,
zone.
not where the roots are.
Yep.
All right, let's see. What have we got? Oh, we're up.
Ooh,
we are at
this
the
is
top of the hour.
I know.
Well, shoot.
We had one text message we didn't get to.
We
about
have-
Japanese beetles.
Yep. Well, it is Japanese beetle season, and my traps are not trapping very many beetles.
No.
Not at all. I'm shocked.
Yep.
And I'm not seeing very many beetles in my yard at
as
all.
much. No.
So I'm pleased about that. The music means we have to get out of here for this week. We will be back next weekend, of course, on Saturday. 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning. You can also listen to us on your favorite podcast platform any time of the week, any time of the day, on any of your mobile devices.
Yeah.
So don't miss that. And I want to thank Devon for coming out today.
Always my pleasure.
It is a great having you here. Keep your shovel sharp. Be careful where you dibble. And as always, have a great week. Have a garden-wise week. Stay healthy. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
The preceding program is sponsored by JK Communications.